Hey all, Jason Levon, priest at St. Luke's Episcopal Church in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Welcome to another Pause and Pray. Yesterday I received a beautiful video from my stepdaughter, and it was of my 8-month-old grandson, Tatum, starting to crawl for the first time. And as you know, if you've had kids and watched their first steps into crawling or walking, there was a lot of awkward wobbliness to Tatum, a lot of wobbling his way. But in the midst of all of that awkward wobbliness, there was such a beauty to it all, as we all recognize a bigger world and bigger life that Tatum will now be exploring and stepping into in new ways. But to think that that's only able to happen because of and through a lot of awkward wobbles. And isn't that the story of salvation, at least as it's told throughout sacred scripture? It's certainly the story of the Exodus, which we find ourselves immersed in these later days of Lent in the daily office of readings. That lengthy season in the lives of the people of God where there was all sorts of awkward wobbles. There was awkward wobbling between Moses and God, as Moses often and honestly wondered why he was being asked to do what he was doing and where God was in it all. And we know there was a lot of awkward wobbling between Moses and the people and God as they struggled to trust that God was really present and guiding them. And yet, somehow through all of those awkward wobbles, covenant was renewed and deepened, and the people were shaped and formed anew. And in all of that, there's a holy invitation for us to pause and pray today, reflecting how we've come to experience those same gifts of being shaped anew, of growing and becoming through all sorts of awkward wobbles in our own lives. Because if we're really honest, we know that it's not just our first steps into crawling or walking that are awkward and wobbly. There are many steps along the way that bring us to an awkwardness and bring us into all sorts of wobbliness. But just as our first steps reveal, all of those other awkward, wobbly steps also, somehow, thanks to God's grace, only find a way to open us up to a bigger world and bigger life. Lenten peace and blessings to you all.